All right. Welcome back. It's another TA video from the lads at the Daily Close, joining us with knxqtr, Base Buddha, and myself, Crypto-pleb. This time, as always, we're going to talk about BTC, ETH. knxqtr is going to cover Solana as well. So we think there's some good chart reading you, the viewers, can get from this. But yeah, as always, if you can, like, comment, definitely subscribe, and hit that bell notification. You can be the first one to see our videos come out. If you comment, we'll get right back to you. And we always like to hear what you want us to cover as well. It's not financial advice though, so please bear that in mind. But let's jump right over to BTC. So, as I always like to do, I've been doing in the previous videos, I'll start off with the BTC dominance. So this is consistent with the previous videos I've been putting out. We're seeing a very bullish pattern, going in the direction that we like, for at least for BTC's sake. Obviously, people are putting more money into the space, and we're seeing that reflected here in the chart. So this is on the daily as well. Still trending a little bit higher up on RSI, but I don't think that's any strong indication that we have any major turbulence coming up. Maybe we might see a possible small bounce back, but nothing too ominous at this stage. Same with the volume, just put on here too. It seems pretty consistent. Actually, just there you go. That's a little easier to see. But yeah, volume, buy, sell, still quite consistent. I mean, right now we're just kind of hitting at a little bit of the resistance here, but in the next coming days, you just kind of have to keep an eye out, see which direction BTC's dominance in the market will play out. Same thing here on the 4-hour as well. We just put this out. I mean, yeah, for BTC dominance, I'm not really sure if it's really worth looking at the 4-hour chart, but I mean, this is still, I guess technically we did do a small lower high, but maybe kind of consolidation going off to the side, but nothing too ominous still for what I can see. But so this obviously will translate into BTCUSD. Look at the current gains that we're making. And yeah, I mean, I hope some of you all out there have been able to get some nice positions. Hopefully it took, albeit not financial advice, took some things I was mentioning here on our TA videos and got yourself some good positions, because I think, back in, October 1st when we were starting out, if you bought in, you'd be looking at about a 50%, roughly 50% increase. So, I mean, you wouldn't be doing too bad right now. And also, put on my Bollinger Bands here as well. We were trading up on the upper side of it here, but we're always, trading above the 20-day moving average, which is also, that's also quite, favorable. Higher highs moving up quite consistently. And I don't want to put on too many indicators because this chart will get a little bit too loud. But also with the Ichimoku cloud, I mean, we're still, as I said in previous videos, we're trading well, or we have crossed the base above the change line, which is base is the white line, change line is the blue line, which is also another bullish sentiment as well. Right now, as it says here, the overall price, we're starting to head up into all-time highs. Will we get all-time highs within the next week? It is definitely possible, but I think there's also a good possibility that we might have a drawback as well too. But let me just put a couple trend lines up here. This is still the daily that we're looking at. And yeah, I mean, let's pull this up. A bit easier to see. Yeah, I mean, we're right at this current resistance, which is kind of bouncing, we're kind of struggling around this area right now. I think if we just go to our 4-hour as well, yeah, it's still pretty consistent. There's still a little bit, small bit of trepidation. Not sure if we're going to be able to break through it right now, but it is the weekend. I do find that more people are buying into the market, getting more active. Usually later on Sunday U.S. time, or we're in Japan, so on Monday as well. I see a little bit more action that's going to start dictating which direction we're going to take it. But overall, this has just been consistent movement, bullish movement, going up, just higher, going up higher. Just this right around this area, if I were to be, the trader, which I are, but, I'd probably want to look at a few more confirmations to see how well some of these supports are going to hold out. Once you get a confirmation, that might be a good opportunity to possibly get a quick position in, buy, and just always hedge any kind of risk you might run into as well, because the correction, a small correction, I hope, albeit might be just temporary, because the current pattern is completely bullish, and I think we're going to keep going towards previous all-time highs and maybe break a new one. But at least in the short term, you do want to hedge your risk and make sure you keep an eye out on any kind of invalidation points. Because if we break those, then it might be time to save your skin and close out your position before you get into too much trouble. There you go. But everything is just continuously bullish. I'm seeing from the previous videos, the previous weeks. I don't really have much concern for. Actually, the pivots also, respecting the pivots as well too. It's actually quite interesting. I think we might actually just kind of trade in this area a little bit longer before, potentially bouncing up, or if we do go down, maybe down to 58. But then again, I'm still, looking at BTC. I'm actually expecting a lot of good things about it. And previously we talked about Q4 always being a good quarter as well. So we might be seeing some good gains here. So if I were you, I definitely be looking in to BTC. It's definitely an opportunity to. BTC is always a strong buy, but if I were you, I definitely be looking in. It's not too late. There's still some room to grow. So, bullish as always, and probably forever will be. So that's my sentiment here. Moving on to base Buddha.
Sure, man. Great. So for Ethereum, I would say it's my favorite chart. I love putting trades in on Ethereum. It's looking bullish right now. I have in front of me the weekly chart, and in terms of the actual macro trend, you have your all-time high, but the actual closing date being 3931. And then you have a higher low. Then again, closing candle wise, this is 3954. So just a little less than $20 above the actual previous high. So previous high and the actual close, and then again a higher low. So in terms of the actual trend, bullish. And what people would probably, I'm not a pattern trader myself, but one pattern that people talk about is this sort of cup and handle. And so if it does actually play out to the T, then what we'd end up probably seeing is something like the actual bottom of this to the actual top of this. And you probably look for a high above somewhere around here. So about 6,000 in terms of the actual next high. Again, I personally don't I personally don't do a lot of trades based on patterns. The other sort of idea is a inverse head and shoulders just in the past few months, which I can show you a bit later. But just to stay on this weekly chart, again, it is overall good. If you see volume-wise, we are actually doing trades less than the actual average. But the stochastics is pointing upwards. And as you know, when we are in a bull market, it can stay in this bullish control zone for months. So, last time we got into the bullish control zone, I would say above 70-ish. We were here around November of last year, and we exited in May of this year. So, it can go it can go for a long time. That's almost what, like about 9 months or so, maybe less than 9 months, about maybe 7 or 8 months. But yes, so if we, just because we stay in the bullish control zone for the stochastic doesn't mean on the weekly we will actually go down. And the volatility is staying sort of in the neutral area around 50%. For divergences, we don't really see too much. We had a bearish, hidden bearish divergence. Sorry, not hidden, a bearish divergence just a few weeks ago in August. But we are staying in more of this neutral area, so nothing too eventful. And going down to looking at the actual EMAs and the SMA. Yeah, we're trading above all moving averages, so we're good. We're good. Volume profile also, I believe we are in the just trading above the higher node area, so we're in the low nodes now. That's good. And we probably won't meet too much resistance once we obviously cross the previous high here back in August, end of August. Then we'll probably the sky's the limit. I think we'll go quite far. I mentioned previously just a few seconds ago, 6,000 is one key level we can look at. Now, if you look at sort of a daily chart, it tells sort of a interesting story. I mentioned again the cup and handle, but we have an inverse head and shoulders here. I know we've shown this in previous videos, but just to do it again, the other viewpoint is that this can go up to about, what is this, about 5 to 50-ish. So we can look at it going up that high in the near future. Bullish control zone staying up there is quite good. We are on the low end on the volatility, and that's to say, so this is it's pointing upwards. This is a great position to be in. I would probably put in trades around here because stocks are again bullish in the bullish control zone. So and if you look at the blue line, it is pointing upwards. Albeit the purple line is actually more important to pay attention to, but the blue line being more sensitive, it'll give you a faster reading. And so, but in any case, it is in the bullish control zone, and the volatility is just about, it's at the bottom and pointing upwards. So that's a good sign. We can potentially see a breakout in the near future. And just on divergence as well, we have a hidden bullish divergence. So it played out a few days ago, but oftentimes it carries on. So yeah, that's another, I think we're in an uptrend at the moment. And for this, we are above all moving averages, so we're good to go. I don't see anything bearish on the daily, to be honest. I think the only thing to worry about is if we close, if we end up not breaking past this key resistance line here at 3,950-ish, even further up here on, I don't actually use wicks. I typically use closed candles instead, bodies instead, just because I think they're more probable in terms of its in terms of how it plays out. But we have a key resistance at 3,950-ish, and if we're going to probably test this resistance for a while. If you go anywhere below this previous resistance, if we can actually bounce off of this as support, that'd be great. If we can't, push that and we go further down. I'll be worried if we break past 3,492, so around this area. If we do, then we'll probably, again, another bearish, short-term bearish trend. We'll probably have to see how that plays out. But yeah, that's kind of the levels that I'm looking at on the daily. And on the 4-hour, I would say it's kind of similar. Let me just hide those lines real quickly. I would say it's similar. Again, I think we are above. Yep, we are above the moving averages. Most important of this, I would say, is 55 here in purple, And yeah, the other EMAs is quite good. The 200 simple and the 200 EMA is also way below us, so that's great. And let's see, on the divergences, we actually see well, why does that happen? We actually see potentially a bearish divergence playing out here, October 17th. So today actually. So if that happens, we'll probably have a short-term move down, Stokes, as well as pointing downwards, and we're at the bottom of the volatility as well. So I mean, if you're playing short-term, you probably get something down to like, oops. Oh yeah, I already put that there. So yeah, about 3824, maybe lower, just because we got a bearish divergence. Typically, when you have a bearish divergence, I typically see sort of one leg down. So I might even see, I wouldn't even be surprised if I see it go down to like 3780 at this close few days, just yesterday and 2 days ago. So that wouldn't be too surprising to see. And volume profile, I have to zoom out a bit, sorry. Yeah, we are way above the high notes. So I think we're in an area that does not have a lot of historical data, which is to say, there's not a lot of data to predict what might happen. So that's good. We may go up, we may go down. We'll see. And let's do something interesting. Let's do a 45-minute chart. So lastly, let me just move these. So what I like to do is I like to use a 45-minute or the 1 hour to do swing trades. And typically I use the stochastics to find good entry points. My entry points are typically on the 5 or the 10-minute. But if you look at the trend here, we were consolidating just like for days from October, even for October 3rd, but up until around October 13th, we broke out of this resistance around here, around this line. So that's good. We broke out and now we're above trend in this range. And I think, actually, let me just cancel that. Not that. We had a high, low, high, higher, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high. And I'm expecting for us probably to either oops, I want to delete all these. Hold on. There we go. I'm expecting us to test the support down here. And if we break past about 3,800, then and we make a lower low, I would see us trading in the range up until around 3,700, around 40-ish, just playing in this range. And I would say, yeah, if it breaks past that support, we'll go down for a bit. So you can probably play a short right there. But the stochastics is just at the end of at the bottom of the oversold area, and it's pointing upwards. So that's a positive sign. And volatility is also pointing upwards, or just around the actual EMA with the moving average. So I would say this can go either way, to be honest. Yeah. And I think overall, I did mention on the weekly that very bullish on Ethereum. So especially with, again, Bitcoin is king. Bitcoin has been performing quite well, especially with the news of the Bitcoin ETF that just came out and was approved by the SEC. I believe it's for Vacaries and one other one, but other companies like Grayscale are applying for the ETF. Now, this is not the spot ETF. It's the futures ETF, which has different connotations to it. But there's a debate between whether that's going to be positive for the market or detrimental. What we do know for now is at least there's going to be a lot more institutional players in the game. And as Bitcoin is king, once Bitcoin does continue to make bullish moves upward, we'll most likely see ETH follow suit, because ETH has been mirroring a lot of Bitcoin's moves miss this cycle. But at the same time, for the other alts, it's potential that they could bleed while Bitcoin is on a rally. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I'll pass it over to KNX for his alpha.
Just make sure I'm not on mute. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, bro.
Okay, cool. Let's do this. So I will be covering Solana. You guys can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Solana. Okay, let's start off on the higher time frames as usual. I've pre-drawn here a sort of symmetrical triangle. It's sort of like a bull flag symmetrical triangle that's playing out at the moment. This will make a bit more sense when we go down to the low time frames, but we are ranging in this sort of, we've got, you'll see on the low time frames, you know, we've got the lower highs coming in, but we've also got higher lows. The weekly time frame looks bullish. I don't have any problems with this. You know, we came back to back test the previous weekly opens and the weekly closes, which is fine. If we start closing below about 135, it start looking a little bit more bearish, with short-term targets down to around about 116, 115-ish. The jewel is not really giving off a big signal here, but it is telling you know, people who are in a trade to hodl their longs. RSI in the bullish control zone, upside posturing. It's always good. Volatility has been pretty high, came down to around 79, 80 percentile, but continues to stay within the 90 percentile for now. Volatility is coming down while we are consolidating, which is always a good sign. The Stokes, testing out a new indicator here, but the stock RSI will be pointing up again above 184, which means that I don't think we will see a breakout within this week at least. There's 10 hours left on the week, but maybe in the next couple of weeks, if we do start to trade above 184, I'd be very, very bullish on the long-term timeframes. 5-day, similar story. Everything else is looking pretty similar on the 5-day. Again, we have the 5-day closing in about 10 hours and 40 minutes. Stokes crossing up here at around 154. So there is a big difference between the weekly and the 5-day. We are currently trading above 154. So any closure here would be very good. Means momentum, it will be heading to the upside on the 5-day period. So look at the 2-day. Actually, I'm going to skip the 2-day. Not too much difference. On the daily, you can see that the symmetrical triangle or the bull flag that was playing out makes a little bit more sense now. You have a few more touch points. The daily pivot point here is 151, 151.95. We are currently trading above that, which is good, which means momentum is to the upside. RSI rejection of the neutral zone here, which is always a good sign as well. We have confirmed a higher low yet again. No real divergences playing out, but RSI posturing to the upside, which is a good sign. On the daily, we do have a sort of a short signal here, but I wouldn't trust that too much right now. I'd give this the benefit of the doubt. Volatility coming all the way down on the daily, which is what you want to see in a consolidation period. Very, very good. As always, when we do break out, you want to see an increase in volume and an increase in volatility as well, which would then be good confirmation of it not being what's the word I'm looking for? A fake out. I think if we do start to break out of this with volume and volatility, the most natural, the short-term target's 173.38 to be specific, but I don't think we stop there on the daily. I think we do head up to all-time highs at about 191. Let me draw a fib on this. So the breaking market structure was, you had your high here. Let's draw it from here to here. And what do we see? Oh, sorry, not there. I drew the wrong one. It's from here to here. It's consolidation period. Okay, we came down, retested 0.05, bounced off the 0.382. We are seeing resistance here, you know, at the 1 level. We came up to the 1.418, and all-time highs where we wicked up to touched 2. I do think once we start breaking all-time highs, we don't stop at 2. We'll probably go to 2.272 or 2.618, which is around $227, $242, somewhere around the area, I would say, before looking for a medium-term pullback. Did I cover? I did. I covered that. Pivot point on the daily is 151.94, which is good. Onto the 4-hour. The 4-hour tells a little bit of a different story. The pivot point in here is 163.57, and again we are trading above that. We have started to break out of this symmetrical triangle, but I would like to see some volume and some volatility for me to enter a trade here if I'm trading on the 4-hour. Stock RSI is pointing up, good. Getting into getting above the 50 level, which is nice to see. The jewel also, it's looking good here. I mean, I suspect that we do push a little bit higher. EMA is in positive posturing. I think we have one drive, maybe a test of 175 before consolidating a bit and moving up. Volatility has been very, very low on the 4-hour, as you can see. I would like to see this move above the white line, which is the EMA. If we start to move up on the 4-hour, point of control is at 159. If you are trading this, I would expect a little bit. If we come back down to about 156.8, I'd expect a little bit of a bounce. If we don't hold that, then probably down to around 150-ish. And if we fail that, then well, buckle up, because I think we go all the way down to around 116. I don't think we stop at 139 here. I think we fall all the way back down. That's it for the. I think that's it for the 4-hour. Again, the RSI is consolidating around the bullish control zone, which is something that I like to see. We are having spikes of green volume here, which is a signal of accumulation. And on the 4-hour, again, we have the Stokes pointing up, and general momentum to the upside on the 4-hour. I think that's it for now. Invalidation points, as I mentioned, once again, below 156, we drop down to about 150-ish. And then if we fail to hold that level, I suspect we do wick down to around 116. So that's it for Sol. Other than that, long-term chart, very, very bullish. Very, very bullish. Probably one of the best charts I've seen so far. Short-term timeframes, maybe a little bit more consolidation. I do suspect this pattern to be resolved very, very soon. So we will see whether that's a move to the upside or move to the downside. That's it.
All right, there we go. Well, it looks like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are all looking at some more bullish patterns going up. I guess there's some sentiment that it might be a small, trace back down slightly, but overall, I mean, the entire market looks very favorable. So yeah, I mean, for everyone else who's watching, thank you for watching our videos. But of course, take this as a good step to do a little bit of your own research. Obviously, this is not financial advice, so you want to do your own research and then play with your money responsibly. And if you like these videos, like we try to do these TA videos multiple times a week. Just please give us a like, just so you can let us know that you like what you see. Please drop us a comment if you want us to cover anything of interest, or if you just want to say hello, feel free. We will always try to get back to you. Subscribing is really good for our metrics and algorithms, so please definitely subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can be the first one to know when the video comes out, and you can be the first one to comment too. So yeah, without further ado, thank you again for joining us on the Daily Close, and we'll see you guys next time. May the pump be with you too.
The pump be with you eternally.
In perpetuity.
Forever.